Okay, well, good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us this morning on the 1st of June for Start with Safety. Um, it's a great day to kick this off, and we're here to talk about National Safety Month. I am Brandy Crockett. I'm the Vice President of Operations here, and I'm just going to kind of run through some general agenda items, and then we'll get right into the details that we have for National Safety Month and some exciting things there. And then we will hear from some updates from our program managers. And so we'll each take a turn, and it's exciting because we have some new faces. You'll get to see some new program managers. They'll introduce themselves, and we'll go from there. I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you've never been a part of National Safety Month, it's fun. It's exciting. This will be my 20th National Safety Month that I have been a part of, and they're all different and fun to participate in. We always try to get all of our members and customers to engage and do something with their employees during National Safety Month. And National Safety Council does a great job at providing a lot of the tools that you can, kind of plug and play, I guess, for lack of a better term. You don't have to put a lot of thought into it, or, we've had customers and members who have come up with something really unique and really fun as a way to celebrate National Safety Month. Usually every year we do submit a proclamation for the governor's office to declare National Safety Month in June, and that has been submitted. So I don't see why it wouldn't be, but we're still waiting back. So we'll follow up with them, but June is National Safety Month. It'll most likely be declared that in Utah as well. But National Safety Month, it's just the annual observance that is kind of hosted by National Safety Council and the Utah Safety Council to help keep each other safe from the workplace to any place. So a lot of the stuff that we'll talk about is specifically focused on the workplace and workplace injury. But there's no reason why you couldn't kind of, share that message and take it to your homes as well. I know this isn't helpful on this webinar, but at the end of this, there are a lot of links and places to download materials. And so we will follow up with an email with the link here. That's where you're going to get a lot of the information that we'll go over today, is that link. And I'll send out also a lot of the graphics, right, that we'll see as well that you can start using. So that link is important, but again, it'll come out. That's where you're going to go and get most of this information. National Safety Month is really divided into weeks. So it's been like this for a while. There may be an overall theme, right, of National Safety Month, but National Safety Council really divides it by week. So you don't have to do them in this order. You don't even have to do these at all. But that's a lot of the material is surrounding these weeks and these topics. And so you can see it here. Week 1, musculoskeletal disorders. 2 is workplace impairment. 3 is injury prevention. And week 4 is slips, trips, and falls. And so what we're going to do is going to go into each one of those specifically and talk about the resources that are available in each of those areas. Starting though is the National Safety Council is offering 2 free webinars this month. The first one is tomorrow. So again, I will get these links out to you today so that you can hop on that. But it's part of the Workplace Safety Summit. And that one is in line with week 1 for musculoskeletal injuries to prevent those. And so that's a great opportunity. And then the next one is going to be during week 3. Work to Zero webinar with an innovative approach to saving lives at work. And that's going to be on the 21st. And so you can register for both of those. There's not a limit to how many people you can have in each of your areas. In each of your businesses, everybody can, log on to that for free. So Again, I will follow up with those links, but those are two great opportunities of free education that you can get this month, specifically from the National Safety Council. Another awesome thing is the National Safety Council has a whole social media toolkit. And you can download the graphic that you're seeing here that's more interactive. And it talks about all 4 weeks. So it talks about the National Safety Council or National Safety Month as an overview, and where you can get your resources. So we're going to be posting this to our social media later today. There's also a workplace poster that you can get that I'll send out as well. But don't forget social media. You can do all of this stuff at your workplace and promote it within, and we'll go over some articles and graphics and, listen to podcasts and stuff that they have coming up. But don't forget your social media and tag people and tag other businesses. We'd love to see that. So we'll talk a little bit about that later, but if you are doing something within your office and social media, for National Safety Council, put it on your social media and tag us. And, we'd love to see what you're doing, and, engage with you and your employees in that way. So we'll just jump right into week 1. You can see the graphic that they have up in the corner. You can use that for week 1. And again, it's the 1st through the 11th. So it's a little bit longer than 1 week, but the 1st through the 11th, musculoskeletal disorders. Again, there is that webinar that starting tomorrow. And they just updated the recorded podcast, and that is available to listen now. So we'll have those links as well. But that's specifically on musculoskeletal disorders. So that's a good one to tune into in that podcast. And I've listened to pieces of their podcast. So it's entertaining and it's fun. And very educational. A lot of these are. So don't be afraid to share these with people at your workplace as well. A lot of the fact sheets they have listed are still coming soon. So I've been in talks with the National Safety Council, and they anticipate all of those will be up this, early on this week, in the next day or so, for the rest of the month. So you should be able to get those. But fact sheets are great. You can distribute those to your employees, post them in break rooms and that kind of stuff, and just use them as an education piece as well. So be sure to check back on that site for those. And then what I really like too is the National Safety Council has kind of put together a lot of the resources that they already have, but they're fitting them into each week. So you may have used some of these, that we'll talk about, and maybe not, but the Work to Zero investment calculator, it, goes over the 8 key safety technologies and saving lives and money. And so it's just a good reminder, that those tools are out there, and then those are free for you to use as well. And many of you probably received the Safety and Health magazine. I know we send out Family Safety and Health. That's kind of the, off the job safety type of magazine, but many companies already receive Safety and Health magazine. And they're doing a good job this year of linking some of those articles that are relevant from the Safety and Health magazine that they've published over, the last little bit to link there. So, I've looked at these articles, and I like the How to Get More from Your Ergonomics program. I think that's very helpful. And they do link a lot of these My Stories. And so that kind of takes you on an individual journey instead of just an informational article. And so there's a couple of ways that they're approaching the topics and information that they're sharing this year, which is great. So that's the recap of week 1. Week 2 is the 12th through the 18th, and it addresses workplace impairment. So this follows the same, flow that we just talked about. You can see the graphic that they're using for week 2. That is a small version up on your screen. But a good reminder, obviously use those in employee communication and on your social media. We'll have all of that available for you. And there is a podcast as well this week that is recorded. It's out there and it's ready to listen to now. And it talks about, impairment, their impairment initiative, and just all different aspects of impairment. And I started to listen to a little bit of this one, and it covers things that I really, wouldn't have thought about. So if you're into podcasts and you have a few minutes, I think it's great to tune into that one as well. Again, that fact sheet is coming, so check back in a day or so for that. And then the resources that they have listed for this week are a lot of cost calculators, and I love these because I think it's just a really great way to monetize the work that we all are doing, and how it can really make an impact cost wise, as well as saving lives, right? And then impairment is such a big topic right now across the nation, and it comes in so many different forms. And the National Safety Council has done a ton of research and information and education on the use of opioids and cannabis. And so there's a lot of information there. And I know we've had several, webinars and training sessions and, about specifically just those two, right? Substances. And, it's just so complex, you can't cover it with just one topic or one webinar. And so I think it's great to just keep revisiting that and learning more as, more research is done on these topics. And so I think those are great resources that you guys should really tune into. And then the articles, again, for the family safety and health, opioids in the workforce. And then the story of Dominic Pope. That's a great one to visit as well. So, and I think, your employees with Dominic's story can really, really connect with that narrative. It's interesting to know how many people actually, have an issue with opioids or impairment in the workplace. And, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but it really is something that has affected probably all of us at one point or another, whether it was, personally or someone that they knew. So it's a great way to just personalize that message. And so that kind of wraps up week 2. Week 3, again, is the 19th through the 25th. And it's talking about injury prevention. Now, that's a big term. And injury prevention, we're all in injury prevention, and it takes on so many different forms. And so this is a great week that you could really just customize it. You can use what's available, but, make it applicable to your workplace. If you know that you're having a lot of injuries in a certain area, focus on that, and make it really usable and, informative for everybody at your workplace. I think they'll buy in and they'll pay more attention if, it's not just a canned graphic or something like that from the National Safety Council. If you're really, tuning into what their needs are here, I think that will go a long way. The graphic you can see that they're using for this week is up in the corner, but there's also a Go Green for Safety sign. And I think that was on one of the first slides that we had. And you can download that and you can use that again on social media or throughout your workplace. And Go Green for Safety is something that the National Safety Council has done for a while now, but they bring it back every National Safety Month. And so that's one thing that I failed to do today. I was going to wear a green shirt just to go green for safety. But even if that's just one initiative that you do for your employees, encourage them for the month of June, or pick a certain day or whatever, where everybody wears green for National Safety Month. Things like that are just pretty easy to do and can make a really big visual impact. So there is that graphic too, if you plan on doing something like that. This is the week of the webinar. So innovative approach to saving lives at work on the 21st. And then that podcast. So injury prevention podcast. And I haven't tuned into that one yet. But like I said, I think it's such a vast topic that it can be applicable to almost any workplace. And then the resources here that I think are really good to note is the investment calculator and the technology locator. I think those are cool if you haven't ever used them. I don't know, you can make it your own basically. And I think that's always a great thing. The articles for family or for safety and health this week, most companies probably do some sort of JSA or job safety analysis. And situational awareness is really big. I would, probably include housekeeping and different items in there as well. And I think, the article on combating complacency is pretty interesting because I think everybody gets caught up in that at one point or another, complacency in your workplace, whether it's, with training or education or, things like housekeeping and keeping up on those things. So those are all great resources to check out. And then finally, week 4 is June 26th through the 30th for slips, trips, and falls. And so I know that we have courses in some of these areas, and you can always check our website for that. And you'll hear from Annabelle, who is over, part of the occupational course or occupational program that we have here. And we have a lot of specific training classes to address some of these things. And she'll talk about that as well. But, I think you can see obviously that first thing, the graphic there that you'll be using, for this final week 4. And then the podcast on slips, trips, and falls. Again, slips, trips, and falls is a topic that almost any workplace has. I mean, even here at the Safety Council, that's something that's super applicable. And just making sure, everything that goes into a slips, trips, and falls program, whether it's footwear or, rugs or, cleaning up spills, things like that, it does a really good job of being comprehensive. And so I'm excited to listen to that podcast as well. And I know, the consultant that they have there, I've actually talked to him and met him before, so it should be a really good podcast. That kind of sums it up for the topics and the emphasis each week. I think we have one more slide for the resources. I think the Falls from Heights toolkit, that one's actually really interesting. If you are able to click on that and kind of just dive in and look in there. One that I haven't looked at was safety risk with drones. So that might not be applicable to every workplace, but I think it's definitely different and interesting and unique. It's worth a read for sure. And then again, you can see some of those articles linked with Safety and Health magazine. So that's basic information, right? It's much more interesting when you're able to log in and go and download these things and see how these tools and how you can use them. And so what the Utah Safety Council wants to do is really encourage you to use that free information. Don't recreate the wheel, but June is a whole month, right, of National Safety Month activities that you can do. Again, you can use those areas of emphasis for each week, or you can make your own. Make it, what your workplace needs. That's really what it's about, to raise awareness of safety in the workplace. So whether you use those weeks or, those areas of emphasis or not, having that dialogue is what's really important for National Safety Month. And so I just want to remind you that those updated fact sheets, they should be there shortly. They're going to be adding new information. So that first link that we showed, that's where you're going to get most of your information. And this is the free section, right? So this is the resources that are available to everyone for free. If you happen to be a National Safety Council member specifically, you do have access to just a few more resources, a few more downloads, but the majority of what they have out there is for free. And the reason is they want to spread awareness of safety during National Safety Month and get buy-in and get companies engaged in the message and what we're trying to spread there. So, but again, check back to those that website for updates throughout the month, and check the Utah Safety Council email and social media pages. We are going to be doing different things throughout the month, posting different graphics and initiatives and education throughout the month. So be sure to check back with us as well. One thing I know that our occupational safety people will get into, but we do have a occupational safety essentials class on June 8th. And in honor of National Safety Month, we are hosting that for free. So if you or 2, 3, 5 other people in your organization are interested in taking that free course, just email safety@utahsafetycouncil.org and I can get you in there. If you're not familiar with what Occupational Safety Essentials is, it's a great class. It's new for our calendar this year, and it really builds some framework that you can use and expand upon at your workplaces to build a really comprehensive safety program. So it's good if you're starting from scratch with safety, if you're new to safety, but it's also great if you're a seasoned safety professional. Sometimes, like we mentioned earlier, that complacency can kind of creep in and we forget to cross the T's and dot the I's sometimes. And so it's a good reminder of things, taking it back to basics, making sure that you have certain foundational safety items in your program. And so I highly, highly recommend that class, and you can't really go wrong with it this month, especially because it's free. So if you are interested, or if you know someone that's interested, please just let me know. Again, email safety@utahsafetycouncil.org. And kind of lastly, we just want to make sure that if you are participating in National Safety Month, to submit any photos or any narrative of what you're doing, send it to that same email address, safety@utahsafetycouncil.org. We'll put you in our next newsletter. We'll tag you or highlight you on our social media pages. And that way, your work isn't going unseen or undone. And we'd love to hear from you and kind of what you're planning with your employees, whether it's something small or something really big. So either is very important to us, and we'd love to hear about it. And just make sure that you're using the hashtag NSM for National Safety Month. Anytime we post something on for National Safety Month or having to do with National Safety Council, National Safety Council has a team of people in their social media area, and it's literally like minutes after you do hashtag NSM, someone's on it, someone's commenting on it, you're getting engagement from someone on their team at National Safety Council. And so it's a great way to make connections and interact and just kind of post your or increase your social media presence as well. So and then lastly, just have fun with it. It's a great month. The weather's getting better. You can do things inside, outside. Just, the sky's the limit with National Safety Month and some ideas. We've had people, companies go really big and just really make an impact. So, and like I said, we'd love to hear about it. So that's kind of everything I had specifically on National Safety Month. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out to me at that same email address, or put anything in the chat. But I'd love to see your participation, and I'm excited to see what kind of difference we can make this month. So I appreciate your time. I'm going to have John step up and give us some updates in this Utah Safety Council world. So thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, Brandy, and welcome to June, National Safety Month. Like Brandy mentioned, we do have National Safety Month declarations sent to the governor's office as well as the Salt Lake City mayor's office. Neither has signed yet, but they will. I'm confident because they do every year. But you're always welcome to call their offices and encourage them to sign it quicker if you wanted. I'm sure they would welcome those phone calls because they love hearing from their constituents, and we are constituents that drive safety in Utah and help save lives. So welcome to June. The last time we spoke in May, we have celebrated Mother's Day and Memorial Day, and we've hired a bunch of new people at the Utah Safety Council. So you'll meet them today, or at least most of them today. But a quick rundown, we have Annabelle Dietering and Hannah Faust heading up our occupational program. Annabelle's actually been here for a couple months now. And then Hannah we hired, and she started yesterday. So she's diving into the deep end. Annabelle's been in the deep end, but they are both swimming and doing fantastic work. And I'm confident that everybody's going to love working with them. So again, Annabelle and Hannah are in charge of our occupational program that includes our MSHA training, training for the refineries, as well as our vast catalog of OSHA type occupational safety training courses. We also have two Stones here. We have Michael Stone and Brandon Stone. Michael Stone is heading up our traffic program. He's been here since mid-April. You'll hear from Michael shortly, but he's doing a fantastic job, taking over the traffic program. And then Brandon Stone, who is not here today, he's been busy with our emergency care program, first aid CPR, AED trainings. As some of you know, there's been a new transition with our first aid CPR program from the National Safety Council. Brandon has stepped in and he's making sure that those transitions are happening with our instructors, and we're getting the new content out. It's been a big of a challenge getting books here from the National Safety Council on the new content, but we're working hard. We have promises that those books are on the way. So don't give up on us. The new stuff is awesome. Call Brandon with all your emergency care needs, AEDs, and then make sure you're engaging with Michael on all the traffic stuff. And then today we have Delia Camilio. She will help Amy with the lab and the office operations to make sure we're functioning and doing what we need to do. So we're happy to have Delia. You'll meet her momentarily, but yeah, May was nuts, right? Like we had a lot going on, a lot of new faces, but we're always moving onward and upward at the Utah Safety Council. A lot of great things happening. You'll hear from Brandy again, I believe, but as she mentioned earlier, we have a great occupational safety essentials course is happening next week on the 8th. This is a class that we like to offer complimentary to our member companies. It's an all-day class. We feed you lunch, and we go over everything to have a successful safety program from A to Z. Check it out. It's definitely worth your while if you're a new safety manager or even a seasoned one. So we encourage you to come there. We also have a great golf event coming up, the Crazy Pants Golf Tournament that's happening on June 24th. Registration's open on the website, utahsafetycouncil.org. This year, it'll be June 24th at the Top Golf in I guess that's Sandy off of 90th, but they are hosting a great tournament for us. It'll be a good opportunity as opposed to a green grass tournament where we can see you, engage with you the whole day with this tournament at the Top Golf. We're also taking or have been taking nominations for the safety awards for our annual meeting that's happening on August 12th. That meeting is going to happen live at Rice Eccles Stadium at the University of Utah, and the Ken Garff Scholarship Club will have full access to the stadium. It's very cool. We'll be down in the field house. You can see and actually walk onto the field and take some pictures, and we'll present the annual awards. We'll do some board business. We just booked Sean Newell, who has a long 30-year plus career in safety over there at Industrial Supply. He's also a top educator. He sits on the Board of Education board for the state of Utah, but he will speak at the annual meeting, and we are very excited to have him. More details for that, but we need your nominations. They are due at the end of the month, June 30th. So get those in, and also register to make sure you have a seat at the annual meeting, because that is limited to 250 people. That event will also be broadcast live on our C-Event platform. So if you can't make it in person, you can always tune in virtually. But we'd love to see your faces because it's been a couple of years. So register for that on our website as well. And then be sure to turn in your nominations. We also have a very cool Lifetime Achievement Award this year. It'll be the first one. So if you know somebody's been in safety for a minute, if you download the nomination form on our website, it'll give you all the credentials to nominate a Lifetime Achievement Award nominee. But we're getting some great nominees, and we're excited to recognize the first ever Utah Safety Council Lifetime Achievement recipient. Okay, we talked about annual meeting, we talked about golf. We have a membership event coming up in the fall. We have Start with Safety every month. And then for member companies, please reach out to us. Now that we're kind of coming out of the pandemic, if you have health fairs or events that you would like the Utah Safety Council to help and support with, please reach out, let us know. We will do everything in our power to make sure we can send somebody from the council to go help support your health fair or safety fair, especially in June during National Safety Month. We're here to support, and we're certainly very grateful for our member companies for sticking with safety and with the Utah Safety Council during a very challenging time with the pandemic. So I think I went over, but that's okay. I'm going to turn over to Annabelle now, Annabelle and Hannah, who will give us an update with our occupational program. So take it away.
Okay, hello.
Hi.
Hi, so I'm Annabelle, and I'm one of the occupational administrators, and I'm now, as of yesterday, with Hannah.
Hi.
Hannah, do you want to do a quick intro of yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Hannah Faust. I'm really excited to be working alongside Annabelle as one of the administrators for the occupational program we have here. My background, just a little bit about me, is with education. I worked as a program manager for an AmeriCorps program and also a kindergarten teacher for 2 years. And then I recently graduated with my MBA. So that's a little about me.
So we love it. We love the diverse experience. We feel like it has great overlap with our program. And so, yeah, we're like the program managers, occupational coordinators. There's a lot of different names for it, but basically, essentially, what it is that we're over and we're directly over and we coordinate all the occupational, the MSHAs, and the refinery classes. And so, my contact information is listed below. I'm going to be sticking Hannah's down there this next time, but regardless, you can use this information for this month, and that'll come to both of us. So moving forward, some of the things that we have are the Advanced Safety Certificate class, which will be the June 7th to 10th, which is Principles of Occupational Safety and Health. And that's a 3-day one. For those thinking about getting that advanced safety certificate, that a lot of times, you know, getting some of those specialized specialties will really help when it comes to advancement in work, or just really help people feel more confident with you and your skills and abilities. And so it's definitely something to maybe consider if you're just wanting to either bump up your resume, or just or kind of create that trust or just baseline of knowledge. It's a really good opportunity. So certificates, when it comes to OSHA, we have starting today actually, which was the OSHA 315 fall protection. There's a lot of different ones with OSHA that they offer. We've got the June 6th is the personal protective equipment when it comes to just different things related to protecting yourself when you're on site. 11th through 12th is the outreach course for construction industry. June 16th, lockout tagout. June 17th, confined spaces. So another, niche one, and that's a lot with our department is some of the ones like CPR, driving, they're a bit more generalized. Ours, sometimes when it comes to OSHA or the MSHA refineries, they're a little bit more specified to, particular types of safety, kind of niche types of safety, though. Actually, some of the other departments do have really interesting ones that I want to take when it comes to their courses. But like, yeah, absolutely. Ours, when it comes to OSHA, things like confined spaces, or June 29th is electrical safety compliance. So just some of those more particular for you that's needing safety knowledge in a particular field. We sometimes have that in our department. June 22nd to 23rd, that's a 10-hour outreach for general industry. And those are the ones coming up. And then, yeah, one of the bigger ones is the June 25th to 26th, the OSHA 10 general industry, which is one that a lot of people sign up for to get that OSHA card just to verify themselves as being trained in that. So some occupational courses outside of OSHA that are coming up. Occupational Safety Essentials, as mentioned, is a really great one. It's June 8th. We have, it's definitely one where, as mentioned, it really allows this kind of a widespread approach to how to learn about safety in a way that is holistic, or really takes in a lot of elements for people that are maybe just starting off. And so that's, once again, free and a really great and just a really great place to start if you feel like you're at baseline, or you're just not sure where to start. That one's free. That's a really good way to get your feet wet and your foot in the door, and just to start learning some of those essential skills. And and having seen some of it myself, like I really vouch that it's just a really great course. So June 14th, team safety class. June 15th, risk management, and June 30th, fire extinguisher safety. So yeah, just things that, maybe things that maybe you don't think about all the time, but the second there's a fire is the second you wish you knew exactly what to do with a fire extinguisher. So, a lot of those kind of trainings can just feel kind of peripheral if they're not something in your day-to-day life, but really everybody should know how to use a fire extinguisher. And that's a lot of the courses we have are just very tailored to specific scenarios where somebody needs to know how to use this equipment, or know how to navigate this situation in order to keep everyone safe. So, okay, so I think moving on. So when it comes to the classes that are a little bit more specific for the refineries or mining, we have first is the Basic Orientation Plus, and that's one of our infrastructure classes. And these classes are for newcomers who have never taken Basic Orientation Plus before. So that's just kind of your initial one. And those are all for the HollyFrontier refinery. And the upcoming dates on those are June 7th and 21st. And these are in person and can be offered in private classes as well. So with these, that's your Basic Orientation Plus. It's that first one you need to take. After that, you would just need to take a refresher. But if you need that full course, these are the 2 dates for it. And then just keeping in mind that, you can do it with us. We already have an infrastructure just to get that process, but you can also do it as well in a private course if that ends up being better for your site and where you're located. And then moving on, so that, yeah, those refreshers, that's signed up with the computer lab by appointment, and that's the and then you just call our main phone line, or honestly, if you end up calling any of us, we can send you to either set you up or send you to where to get that specific training. So for that would be that would just be if you need that annual refresher, if you're somebody that, you got your main training, but every year there's just a lot of policies, there's a lot of things that change in a year, especially in these kind of niche environments where we're learning more and more. And so a lot of times, you know, there's just too much information, and it's just been decided that in order to be able to be verified, that you're really trained in this, after your BOP, you've got to take that yearly BOP refresher. And so that's required just to keep you up to date and certified. And as mentioned, that's honestly just in the computer lab. It doesn't take as long, and you can set those up by just calling in. And then also besides that, I think no, I think we're good to go with that one. Really, it's just calling in for that, and we'll set you up. So moving on, we have the MSHA, next MSHA training. So we have the web-based 8-hour surface annual refresher. So similar to the BOP, we have the June 6th, 13th, 22nd, and 27th. Those are web-based. So for now, just kind of coming out of COVID, but also just because it is a lot easier for a lot of people located in different areas. We do all of our courses right now when it comes to these are web-based. And that makes it a lot easier for people in different states or what have you to log in and be able to take the course. And so, you know, those are the dates for them. And really it's very similar to BOP. It's just making sure you're up to date with the new policies, the new things that are happening, and whatever best practices is, and just making sure you're refreshed on the old stuff that you knew before or learned before. So that's the 8-hour surface annual refresher. Then we have the web-based 24-hour surface new minor. So that's June 1st through 3rd. So we have a class of them happening right now. But if you missed that one, we have the 15th through the 17th. And that one, when it comes to that one's really great when it comes to just, actually, I think with that, I think with that one, yeah. So that one's pre-scheduled, web-based for now as well. I'm not sure if we have on site where we can bring it to you, but if you have any questions about the kind of services we can bring and the kind of instruction we can bring to your site, just call in. And sometimes we really can modify and bring certain kinds of trainings to your site and figure out a way to work with you and the needs of your site. So anyway, those that's for those that have not taken any course or a new minor, 1st through 3rd. And with that, you have the class, which is 24 hours of class instruction, and that's those dates right there. But after that, in order to have a full certificate, you've got to take the MSHA Introduction to Work Environment Tour, and that's where you're actually like there on the mine, learning, you know, taking a lot of the stuff you learn in the classroom and really applying it and really seeing and learning different things about the mine that you can't learn if you're just if you're not there. And so that's the other half of the piece of the puzzle, and you're required to do both in order to have a full certificate. For those, that's we have them ourselves. That's June 4th and 18th, right after we do the 24 hours. We offer the new minor tour, and then moving on from that, we have the web-based underground MSHA refresher and the web-based underground MSHA 32-hour new minor. And so those are great. We get really good feedback on those. It gives you the same kind of, I mean, there's some overlap obviously with what the surface new minor is, but it's even more in depth. And so those are some options for you as well if you're wanting to kind of go more in depth. But either one works for surface. So yeah, those are the ones that we have coming up. The private, as mentioned, private classes by request when it comes to either, well, on site is for us to bring it to your site, but then there's also private classes if there's something that you need specific. You can have a one-on-one with an instructor. That's also an option as well. If you need a private class with an instructor, we can work that out. So I think those are our main ones. And then yeah, I don't know if I missed the one part with the UITC, but regardless, just real quick, for the UITC classes, those are for our companies Big West, Silver Eagle, Chevron, and Marathon, and they need to be taken every 2 years. Oh, there they are. So I guess it was back there. With that one, these are in person and can be pre-scheduled or private classes at our center or on site. So you have the option, the flexibility of those. But yeah, once again, Big West, Silver Eagle, Chevron, or Marathon, those main ones are gonna are really, it's really for those primarily. And so our next one, and that's June 28th. And then of course, any kind of specific training, the computer labs open by appointment. So besides that, I think we're good to go with our side. we can move on to, I think it was Stone is next, but, oh no, Stone, I'm not sure if it was Stone, but regardless, we're excited to be here and starting up these programs. And we, we're just definitely still, as kind of touched on, learning as we go, but it's a really exciting field, and we're really, excited to bring these trainings. And honestly, what any questions you have, just come to us and we'll try to make it work. So thank you.
Yes, it is me up next. I am Michael Stone, the traffic safety manager here at the Utah Safety Council, as well as the temporary cameraman for the day. So I'm the one behind the scenes operating all the slides. So sorry about that, Annabelle. I did actually skip over your one training you wanted to discuss. But I just want to start off today with a little bit of an educational piece as far as Start with Safety. Memorial Day does mark the 100 deadliest days of summer, which can sound rather ominous, honestly. So let me explain it a little bit. Basically, what it means is that right now is where we have the most congestion of traffic on the road. So most people are out there either going, camping, they're on the road, they're off for potentially even school, even if they're under, they're still in like high school and stuff like that. So there's a lot more people on the road. So I just wanted to make that at the forefront of your mind as far as being aware that your fleet drivers might be a little bit more slowed down, or potentially they're out there battling a little bit more distracted drivers on the road every day. So just kind of remind them that, those people are going to be out there on the road and they need to stay safe and try to eliminate as many distractions as they can, and just have that hyper vigilance as far as staying safe on the roads and making sure that they buckle up so that they can go home safe to their families and that you guys don't have delays as far as your fleet drivers are concerned. So I'm just going to quickly go over the classes I have coming up, more geared toward like the public. So these are my classes I have coming up, but Utah Safety Council does offer fleet defensive driving courses in order to make sure that your people stay safe. And those are mainly for on-site available upon request. But as far as the general population is concerned, my day-to-day courses, I do have one coming up on June 4th in Salt Lake. I actually have two of them from 8 a.m. until 12 till noon. And then I also have one on the 6th, which is from 6 p.m. until 10. These are all defensive driving courses. And then we do have one coming up on the 18th in Salt Lake as well, from 8 a.m. until noon, which is also web-based. That's for people who might be living in disparate areas of the state or country and, still need to attend the course to satisfy a requirement. And so that just gives them the means of attending. We also have one up in Logan on the 4th coming up from 8 a.m. until noon as well. We have one in Richfield, so that could be one of those disparate locations if you want to look at it that way, who maybe want to go to an in-person course rather than doing the web-based one. Layton, we're recently transferred from Ogden to Layton just for the summer. We're doing those down at the Weber State Davis campus for people who that might be a little bit more accessible than having to drive up to Weber State main campus. We have one down in Washington, which is right outside of St. George, Utah, from 8 a.m. until noon as well. And then finally, we have one down in Lehi, which is taking place at, I believe it's Utah State University, from 5:30 p.m. until 9:30 p.m. But as I stated earlier, if you need to schedule like an on-site training, you can contact me. My information is right there as far as my email or my calling and extension. But that about does it for me. And so we actually have Amy filling in for Brandon Stone to go over the emergency care training session.
Hey, hi everybody. Let me adjust my camera. So yes, my name is Amy. I'm just kind of covering up for Brandon when he's out today. So with first aid, it looks like he has a member benefit or a first aid class coming up on the 14th. So this is a member benefit, meaning for those that are members that have not used their free first aid course, it's a great opportunity to do so. So that is on the 14th. And even if you aren't a member, please feel free to join us for that class, or even if you've already used your member benefit, send somebody else. So have a second person be certified in first aid in your company. Also, his instructor course is coming up. That is a 3-day course. So it looks like he's hosting it from the 21st to the 23rd. I think there's still a few spots left for that one. I know those are filling up. So if you need somebody to be an instructor for your company, this is definitely a great opportunity. I think the next one is in August, so we have some time. So definitely get somebody into that June one. It looks like he has a bilingual trainer as well. So if you're leading somebody who teaches this course, probably I'm thinking in Spanish, give us a call, give Brandon a call, give me a call, and we can set something up for you guys. We also have first aid kits in stock, so those are, some people are needing those. I know that a lot of people were requesting books and we have yet to have those, but we're working on it. So just give us a call and we'll kind of see what you guys are needing and seeing how we can help. I'm going to introduce our new staff member, Delilah. She's helping Dalila. Sorry, Dalila. She's going to kind of help around with everything that we do here in the office. I'm going to just give her a second to introduce herself and we'll kind of go from there. There you go.
Hello, I'm Dalila. This is my very first day. My name is Dalila Camelo. I am from Brazil originally, and I have been teaching English there for the past few years during quarantine. But now I'm back, and since I've been back, I have adopted just 2 dogs, 2 labs, and I like to go on hikes with them, and I'm enjoying this weather while it's getting warm. But otherwise, I'm really excited to start working here and make sure everything runs smoothly around here.
Hey, Brandy, we're gonna pass the baton back over to you and get back to work. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. So as you can see, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of exciting things going on. So thanks for sticking with us. I just have a few extra things and then we will be done. John mentioned the Crazy Pants Golf Tournament. So, you know, it is going to be at Top Golf in Midvale. It's a change from what we've done in the past. But I just want to make sure that you know it's not your average like Top Golf experience. When you do a tournament at Top Golf, it's a top contender tournament, and they only do that style of play for leagues and tournaments. And so it's a unique experience that you won't just get on any Friday night or Saturday night that you go to Top Golf. So and the most fun part is that you can do it wearing crazy pants and nobody will judge you. You actually get an award for the craziest pants. So it's a fun event. We'd love to see you attend and engage. And the benefit too, besides all of that, is that the bays are close together. And so it's much easier to engage and, you know, get to know each other and network. So, you know, than your average green grass golf tournament where, you know, you may see another round of golfers passing you by here and there, and then you see them for lunch. But this is kind of a unique opportunity we're trying out this year, and we're super excited to see how it goes. So I just wanted to make sure, you know, 2 things: your crazy pants, and then, you know, that it is a tournament. It's not your average night. So that's it for the crazy pants, other than, you know, make sure to go and register today. Registration is up, like John said. And then I just wanted to mention something else additional about the annual safety awards. So there's new categories, new venue, like John mentioned, and it's at a new time. So if you've been with us and attended the annual safety awards, we usually do it, you know, in the afternoon, and we're switching it up as well. So make sure to mark that on your calendar. And we have, we put here that the award applications are found on our website. They are in kind of a tricky place. And so we've gotten a lot of questions about that. If you're looking for them, you can simply just search safety applications. But if you're looking for it, you just click on the membership tab, and there's a sub menu under there that says safety award applications. And then that's where you're going to see all the updated applications. You can download them. They should be fillable, so you can just fill them out, print them off, send them back to us. All the information is there on how to submit. But again, that deadline for this year is June 30th. And so make sure to get those awards in. If you have questions about awards or, you know, what you could qualify for, what's available, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can email me, safety@utahsafetycouncil.org, or you can call our office. You can talk to Brandy. So that's pretty much it for the membership updates, other than we appreciate your membership and thank you for, you know, engaging with us today. I just wanted to remind you of the next Start with Safety that's coming up. It's July 1st, same time, 10 o'clock. And we're going to be talking about workplace violence. So as sad as that is, that we're, still needing to discuss these things, but obviously the events of the recent past with schools and just tragedies that have taken place there, it's very much needed. And we're hoping to, get a lot of people engaged in that topic and make a difference. So join us again, July 1st at 10. And thank you and stay safe. See ya.